Hello, this is Bridget with Divine Essentials. Okay, guys, so obviously I'm in a different position here. Actually in my bed, at my little table. Some of you may have seen earlier, I had, or yesterday actually at this point, before I went out, had, shuffled the deck and some cards had come out. I took a picture of them and I was like, I will read those later. And then right after I had did that, I went over and I opened my window, and when I open that window, sometimes it is really windy this side of the house for some reason. It's like that's the only window I have that I can open, and it's like half the time it's closed because it's just intense. And I have, my decks all over the place, but usually the ones that get impacted are the ones that are on my table in front of the window. Well, today or yesterday, the little bureau that I have only had one deck on. It's my little heart deck that's kind of like a decoration. Two cards went flying off of it because of the wind. And when I picked them up, they were both union cards. There was Sacred Union and Sexual Union, and they both had very similar, messages on them. One was, they both were about honoring something within yourself, honoring love, honoring your connection to each other, honoring that place inside of you that loves each other, things like that. So it actually kind of tied in with other stuff too, because I've been having like the other day I did a rail, like one of the little 30-second clips, and just sometimes when I do a reading or when I do like those little videos like that, there's a certain energy that will come through with them that feels different, or it's like a higher vibration and it's like pure, you know what I mean? Like it actually feels good, and it's like I don't know, there's just like something there that's like, it's like sacred, right? And then then there's always some person or some peoples who come along and shit on sacred, and they'll be like, fuck him, and say all these nasty, mean things. And I don't know, I felt like a natural urge the other day to just go into protection mode of if you are going to do that, you're going to be blocked. Because at the end of the day, they don't want to be blocked. They hate him, they can't stand him, but they don't want to be blocked because they want to still see the readings, which tells me that they don't really hate that person. They just hate the circumstances that they're in, and they're mad, which I understand, but they're not honoring the sacredness of their connection, and they're not really doing any favors by saying the things that they say, or by projecting that energy out that they project out, because it's people feel that stuff regardless if you're telling it to them or not. You can be the sweetest person in the world to somebody, but if you're going home and you're like, there's gonna be a weirdness, it's gonna be felt. It's just gonna be I just feel like something's off, one of those moments. But keep that in mind if you're somebody that maybe has a tendency to get mad or triggered and does something, says something negative or posts something negative, or shits on something that's actually really nice, because then that takes the vibration down for everybody that's involved in it and seeing it and enjoying it. But I feel like that's been coming up a lot. And then even today or yesterday again, I was mentioning how I was considering doing something, and it's basically because I haven't been feeling that I like the Bridget channel for a while. A lot of you guys knew, if you went there and were on that at all, that I wasn't really feeling aligned with doing the things that I was doing there, because it was just shallow at a point, or felt like it was a disservice, or that there's too many people there that are in that vibration that I'm talking about, that are pissed off and commenting negatively, or they're just they just I almost just said karmic. I feel like there's karmic people around, or toxic people around, and they want to believe that they're not, or something, you know what I mean? And please don't take that the wrong way. If you get mad, that's totally okay. There's been days that I've been really, really mad and said stuff because you're mad. But if it's like a regular everyday occurrence where you're more mad than you're happy, and like things are going worse than they were, and your life is kind of like deteriorating, or your health or your wealth or your anything, if you're losing peace and happiness, and like there's anxiety and stress and all of that around you, then it's probably some like signifying like, hey, this may not be divine or sacred or something for you that's going to help you. It may be something you needed to deal with so that you would grow, but keep that in mind, that like if it's divine, it's probably going to like uplift you. There's going to be more moments of love and like those like feel good things over the anger, the days that we get triggered, or the moments that we're just like sick of waiting or whatever. It's like the ego, basically. So more so than saying karmic, it's more so the ego. And people who go through spiritual awakening, that's the one of the things is like you're fighting your ego, you're awakening to consciousness, you're ascending, you're having more awareness, and your ego has like a lower vibration, and its awareness is like very, very limited, and doesn't see things from an expansive point, and it doesn't have compassion and love and all of those things as the the soul does. So I don't know, I just keep noticing that popping up, and I may be changing. Oh, well, I know I am changing because I've been changing things anyways. So I don't know, when I do pick a cards, it's probably going to be like the fun little, like, let's me get you some numbers and names and things like that. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm just going to go with the flow. I may actually end up doing something big to the channel if I can. I don't even know if it's still a possibility, but I will be putting out like polls and things like that too. So when I came home today, after having those cards fall, and after last week, if you had noticed, this little table that I'm at, under like there's a shelf here full of books, and it's all like tarot books and oracle cards and all of things like that. But anything that was under there was basically just an empty box or the book for a deck. They all came flying out one day randomly. I was just sitting here by myself, like do 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 do. I didn't touch nothing. I didn't look at nothing. I didn't even like move. And all of a sudden, they just all came boom, 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 boom. And it was like one after another, just slamming out. And they were crazy. I was like, ah! And it like freaked me out because they've been in there for months, and they were like just two piles of books. Like and it's not like they were leaning or anything. Like it was like literally be like, we're gonna all fall, like that's basically what happened. And I don't understand it because it shouldn't have happened, but it did. And while I was getting the last of them, like making a little pile of them to make them so they weren't all over the place, one final thing fell, and it was a deck box that actually had a deck in it, the only one in there. And so I was like, there must be a message. And there was. And I also feel like that's connected to my sister too, because my sister passed away when not too long ago. And when she did, I remember like pretty quickly it started happening to me, that whole like, hey, like we're gonna throw your stuff around. And like my decks would be like against like I lean my decks like this, like on a shelf. They'd come off that way. And the first time it happened, I was like, how is that even possible? And I got hit in the head while I was picking up decks, and I knew it was her in that moment because she was always kind of like, she's like that, like like think it would be funny to like hit you in the head with a deck. So I think it was partly her that day that did that, like kind of threw the decks out. And there was definitely messages that I got. But today, yesterday, whatever fucking day it is, when I came home, this card was on the floor over here, and I put that deck over there, all in the box by itself. So I was like, okay. And it's called Transformation, and it says, let love transform you forever. So I feel like that, is kind of tied into like everything else I was just talking about. Like, um, if you've been feeling angry, you've been feeling frustrated, you've been feeling like you don't want to be dealing with certain aspects of things, or you just, maybe get triggered sometimes, and it's okay to have those moments. Like, please don't think that, like, I'm saying that you shouldn't ever feel bad, or that there's something wrong with you, or that you're dealing with a karmic, or that you are a karmic. It just, when I was saying those words and that came out, it's like that's what it feels like when somebody is behaving from ego. It feels karmic. It feels toxic. Um, it's just not. It's not a good look. It's not. It's not sexy. So basically, I feel like they're saying let love transform you. Let love do what it needs to do to heal you, to help you to grow, to help you to ascend. And inside of here is this little pearl, and you can see, like, it's almost like a I feel like some people may feel like they're stuck in their shell, like I want to come out of my shell, but I don't feel beautiful enough yet, or I don't feel ready yet. And I feel like that could be for some of you, like, like there could be a person who wants to come out of their shell to be with you, or talk to you, or spend time with you, but they may not feel ready yet, or they may feel like they're not good enough yet, like they still gotta, like, cook, whatever happens in there to make a pearl. But I feel like that's also happening at this point too, where we're all in different stages too, and I've got to remember that, because like I'm supposed to be like a healer, and I'm like a guide or whatever, and I'm like, get out of here with your triggers, and get out of here with your feelings. Like, if you can't just be nice, then meh. But that's not really like good of me, because I should be helping that person to get to the next place, rather than just be like, leave. But anyways, I feel like this is basically saying that, like, this transformation takes time. So if you do have those days where you're feeling pissed off, or you're feeling like the Queen of Swords, or you're feeling like you are carrying this around, or you are feeling rejected, or just simply that your dude's going extra slow, or that your lady is taking way too long to become her pearl self, don't let that defeat you, okay? Don't let it, and don't self-sabotage, and don't go into a place of like, it's never gonna work. I feel like I lost a card when that happened, because I had cards here from earlier that I pulled, and now I can't remember. I know he was here, I know he was here, and I know she was here, but I can't remember if I don't think this guy was here, but I don't know for 100% positive. But anyways, this is kind of like what's going down. I feel is we're letting ourselves transform with love for ourselves. We're letting our connections transform by like giving them the time that they need to be, cooked and created and polished, and like think of like what goes on, like like polishing a pearl and making it from, it's like a little tiny grain of sand that turns into something beautiful. So even though right now things may be slow, or even though right now you may feel rejected, or you may feel angry, or just sad, or frustrated, or whatever, just know that, like, if you let that love in, and you let yourself feel the love for yourself, and you let yourself see yourself as that pearl, and you let yourself come out of your shell, come out and be that beacon of light, be the love, be beautiful, be transformed already, you're gonna like lead the way. I feel like that's kind of a message there too, especially if you're the feminine, because this to me is like the womb. Okay, so it's like, this is our womb space. This is like us giving birth to something, like giving birth to the new version of ourselves, or giving birth to concepts, giving birth to love, giving birth to whatever it is that needs to be given into your situation or your life. But try to embrace that type of experience. And then I'm going to do the cards that I had earlier here, and I keep looking at this because it's like staring at me. It says abundance, manifesting magic into your life, and then there's the intentions card, and it says ask their intent and set clear ones for yourself. So and step out of your comfort zone. So these kind of like all are tying together. Like that's literally what just happened. I had this deck down, and it was like I picked up one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And that happens to me sometimes. Like, I never know sometimes what I'm going to be getting into when I do a reading. But if you want to be manifesting like magic into your life, you want to be manifesting abundance into your life, you want to be manifesting transformation into your life, you need to set the intentions to do so. And you need to be clear with them, and you need to be clear with others. So if you are uncomfortable right now, you're nervous, you could be thinking like, am I going to end up dealing with another heartbreak? Am I going to be defeated? Am I going to, like, you could be looking at love as a battlefield instead of as like a transformative, beautiful thing, which depends on where you've been, which some of you, unresolved trauma could be preventing you from moving forward, which is exactly what like I was just kind of getting or feeling, was that some of you may be feeling stuck. And I know some of you are. Like, I know some of you feel stuck where you're like, your current circumstances, you feel like your dude's taking too long, you feel like you don't want to be where you are, but you don't know how to get out of where you are. So, like, in those situations, sometimes it's like the people with the third party things going on where you're already in a situation, but you don't really want to be in there. You have to illuminate. You have to, like, come up with intention. And you gotta know that, like, your intention is so powerful. Like, no matter what you think, like, I really wish people would get this in and, like, absorb it, because it's big. Whatever you think, whatever you believe is what you are going to perceive. Doesn't matter what it is. So if your aha when you wake up in the morning every day is, here I am, I'm stuck in my shell, and it's more so than anything for a lot of people, I'm stuck in my comfort zone. I'm stuck with what I know. Like, my dude's been going slow as shit, so it's pissing me off. I don't want to be where I am. I'm unhappy where I am, so now I'm getting miserable. I'm cold, and I'm, frustrated and things like that. And even if you don't have the third party thing going on, I know some of the, people out there, like, your person's single. So that can piss you off, because there's like literally no reason for you to not be able to, hear from them or see them or, spend time together. It's like, what is our problem? Like, we don't even have that happening. So that can open up a whole doorway of like self-worth, value, what's wrong with me? What am I just like, blocking? Like, what did I do? What did I, like, you start internalizing it, and that can make you go into your shell. And with the COVID thing that we've been having, it can be like very difficult because people have had to go into their shell. But I feel like for a lot of us, it's like we get used to that, because I'm a, introvert. Like, I'm always by myself anyways. So it wasn't like a huge transformation for me to go hide in my home. But I did notice like the lack of, occasionally going shopping, just like for 20 minutes to just go somewhere to like grab something, the putting of the mask on if you needed to. Like, everybody's in fear, everybody's like quiet, it's just different. So that in itself could be putting people into a place of discomfort, into a place of like miserable, into a place of depression. So keep that in mind too, that like you may be all frustrated and feeling defeated and pissed off right now because your person hasn't been like, phew, here I am, what's up, baby? We're in the middle of a freaking pandemic too, so they may be like, I have a vulnerable offer for you, I do care about you, I'd like to spend time with you, but where the hell are we going to spend it? Or what are we going to do? Or like, they could just even be sucked into the whole, like, I'm a hermit now, I'm going to go and hide in my shell because we've been kind of like, pushed into that. So you may be perceiving them as being really slow, and, they may be perceiving it as more so that they're feeling really heavy and burdened by moving at all in any way with their lives. Like, don't take it personally, don't internalize it. And then, I know some people, when they have somebody that has a third party going on, they will, like, assume that it's like, well, they must like their person that they're with better, or, that they do something better than I do, or whatever. that's not usually the case either. Most people just need to, you know, deal with what they're dealing with and realize that if you are stuck in your comfort zone somewhere, anywhere in your life, you know, like maybe you know you're supposed to be doing something for your transformation to come out of your shell. Maybe you are a healer and you are supposed to like help heal people, or maybe you are somebody that, you know, you're gonna work with like aromatherapy, or you're somebody that is going to be a reader or wants to be a reader but you haven't done it yet, or you know, whatever it is. Maybe you want to work with kids, maybe like, because I know a lot of the divine feminines, they are like, what is my purpose, what am I supposed to be doing, because they get consumed with the twin flame thing, and then when they try to like, you know, come away from that a little bit, they want to know like, where should I be like giving my focus to. um but more so than anything, I feel like right now the focus should be on the unresolved traumas that we have, and on the unresolved traumas that you may not even be aware of. You know, you could have had trauma or some experience in another lifetime that carried into this, or you could have trauma and, you know, unresolved stuff from childhood that you blacked out, you just don't even remember, and like maybe people were like, let's just not even talk about it, so you wouldn't know, you know. And if that's the case, you might need to do some meditation to go within and figure out, you know, where am I holding my trauma that's holding me back? Where am I, you know, preventing myself from moving forward? And most of you probably know, like, just going into meditation, closing your eyes, allowing your mind to relax a little bit, like just disconnecting from the outside world and not, you know, being like just like consciously thinking, because sometimes when we consciously think, we block because we're in our ego, we're in like we want it now mode, and that's not where you need to be, especially because you get the tranquility here. It says take your time, slow down. So this doesn't have to be healed overnight, but I know like for some reason it's like the divine feminines that I've seen are like, they're like pew, 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 they just want to like jump to this, or they feel like they need to do that, like they like that they're gonna burn up and disappear tomorrow if they don't, you know, like if they're running out of time, they're always running out of time. You're not running out of time, like you've got plenty of time. I don't know why people get so crazy about that, but you are going to be alive for a long time, especially if you are in my like things, my settings, because I have like, it shows me like what the numbers are for my people. There's like 18 to like 35 is like the typical age range of the people that I have. So it's like you got like a whole other lifetime to go right now. Like you've only been alive for half, you're at the halfway, so you got, and you are going to be like more aware for the rest of the half. So don't worry about it, you know, enjoy it, have fun, slow down, and take care of yourself. So I did pull cards before I came on here, by the way. I pulled some for my toxic triggers, and we got self-care. It says find tools that work for you. So if you're struggling, if you're suffering, if you've got unresolved trauma, and you're in a rush to, you know, take some action, to do something, you got to find what works for you. And I know so many people are like, I can't meditate, or I'm not good at it, or I suck at this. And again, like I was saying, if you just understood like that belief, how hindering that belief is to even speak, because then you are going to just assume that you don't do it good, so you're going to perceive that when you lay back, that I'm not doing it right, or I'm not going to connect, or I'm not going to receive any messages. So even the stuff that you're receiving, you're telling yourself that that's not you receiving, so you don't believe it, so you have your self-fulfilled prophecy of I suck at this. So you gotta, again, set the very clear intention, step out of the comfort zone of being somebody that sucks at something, step out of the comfort zone of continuously, you know, blocking yourself from the healing and the transformation that can occur when you start to believe like in the fact that like everything you speak and everything that you think and everything that you say is what you are manifesting into your life. So when you look at your life and you're not happy with it, and you like, you know, own it, and you keep like, you know, affirming about it, like like, I can't stand him, or he's never gonna come, or like, blah 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 this, or my people did that, or my so and so was, you know, whatever it is that you believe that is hindering this from manifesting into your life, or hindering anything from manifesting into your life, or you know, keeping you stuck in that little shell trying to become a pearl. You've got to transform the way that you think, the way that you speak, and the way that you perceive things. What really changed my life, you know, when I was living with nothing, nothing at all. Like, we had no heat. There was a mold, and it was black mold all over the place. I had no car. I had no bank account. I had no credit. I had 7 dogs. Sometimes there was like literally the whole time we were there in that place, because I went there with the belief that we were going there for a week, and it turned into 4 years that I lived in a basement with those types of conditions. So I never got, like, because in the back of my head it was like we're not staying here. I never like got into that mode of like, okay, I gotta stay here, so I gotta like make this like somewhat like where I be. So it was like I was always like 1 foot out the door, and whatever. But that was a good thing, I think, because if not, I probably would have been there for 20 years. But what I'm saying is, like, that, you know, going into something and being, you know, believing something is going to impact the way that you show up to it. So if, you know, something is in your life that you're really not liking, like, I remember being there and being like, fucking, this is horrible, this sucks, I thought this was a week, like, what the hell, like, I was just like always negative and always upset and always, you know, making things worse, because like things were just consistently getting worse at that point. Then I like not force, but like I found affirmations and gratitude, and I was like trying to do like the whole like, let me do like what I'm telling you guys to do right now because it fucking works. And I had like a couple journals, and I put out onto Facebook, and this is back in the day what I did was like I built myself a website, and then I don't know what I was doing. I don't even know what I was doing with it. It's like I called it Be Creatively You, and it was all things that I wanted to do, like, that was creative. But I ended up working for other people and doing their stuff. So I was like going to this, you know, spiritual center and, you know, taking care of all their stuff and promoting them and all of those things. So back then I wasn't even allowed to have a Facebook until I was doing it for work. And then I was like, well, if I'm gonna, you know, have a like website with a blog, like, I gotta share it to social media so people can see it. So like I just started having social media back then. So I did a challenge. Nobody else did it. I think maybe like 3 people like on 1 or 2 days did it, but it was a 30-day challenge, and every single day I would add on to the number. So like on the 1st of the month, like right now would be a great time to do it for you. So it's the 2nd of the month, you write down 2 things that you're grateful for. Then on the 3rd, you write down 3 things that you're grateful for, and you want them to be different from the day before, and so on and so forth and so forth and so forth. And sometimes it gets hard, you know, like when you get to like day 18, you have to write 18 things that you're grateful for. By the way, 18th is my birthday. I don't know why it came out, but yeah, basically, you know, by the time you get to like the 30th, you got to write 30 things that you were grateful for in that day that are different from the 29 you wrote the day before. And so it really transforms your perspective, makes you focus on the things that you need to be grateful for. And when you are focused on the things that you are grateful for, it attracts more. It brings in abundance. It literally does, and it happens so fast. So I did that also at the same time, like, well, not at the same time, but like within, like, when I was done doing that challenge, like every day I posted it. I would record myself, like they still pop up in my memories sometimes, where I was like standing in that freaking basement kitchen area thingy. Like we had like a stove and a sink and a fridge, but it was just weird. It was just weird. like I would stand there and I would do it every day. I'd get on camera and I just force myself to do it. So even if like just force yourself, not force yourself, but do it. Just do something. Just commit yourself to something that's gonna change your life. Because if you're sick of living with your freaking sword up, or you're sick of living like you got somebody around you that's got their sword up, or you feel like you've been defeated, or you feel like you're burdened, or you feel like you can't leave where you're at, maybe you're in a narcissistic abusive relationship, because I know a lot of the people who come to me are there, or they, you know, get out of it and they come here, and I see like the comments and stuff, or people joining LC Online Healing who are like going through shit shows that I went through, you know, years ago. So if you don't want to carry that weight anymore, if you don't want to be, you know, miserable anymore and blocking yourself from the beautiful that you can have, and you truly do want to be with your person, you know, it's like you got to stop defeating yourself. Stop being a victim. Which is hard, because if you are in a narcissistic relationship, or you are in a relationship with anybody in your life that's, you know, abusive in any way, or even at any time, it's hard to stop being a victim. But being a victim isn't going to get you anywhere, you know. So you want to set that intention to come out of that comfort zone of being the victim, because at least when you're the victim, you have a reason for what you are living. You know, right now it's like, well, if so and so didn't do blah, 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 blah. You could even be using your person as the reason you're a victim. They rejected me. You may not be like saying like they're a horrible person or whatever, but like if you're letting the fact that they maybe pulled back be the thing that is like keeping you from doing anything in your life and moving forward, getting out of your comfort zone, then you're, you know, that's victim consciousness, and that's basically self-sabotage, because, oh, well, they pulled back, I hate it here, but because they pulled back, I'm gonna stay here. That doesn't make sense. Like, you shouldn't. That's codependency too sometimes, where we're like, I'm really unhappy where I'm at, like I don't want to be with this person that I'm living with, I don't like them, I don't like the circumstances I'm in, but because I don't have like a person like all ready to jump to from here, like I think I'll just stick around a little bit longer. That's not ideal. And like really honestly, like the biggest mistake that I made within all of like getting out of the circumstances that I was in was that I waited, like, because I knew that he was gonna go to jail. Like, I just, like, there was no way that he was like telling the truth, because he never told the truth about anything. So I was like, he's probably gonna go to jail. And he was stupid. He did a lot of stupid, like he's like defending himself for this thing that was huge. But like I knew that like on some level that like I was like gonna be able to get away from this situation. I just had to like, you know, wait it out a little bit, because it's court and it takes fucking forever. But when I was there, like that was self-sabotage to do that. I was in my comfort zone. I was like, you know, I'll just do like another week of this, or oh, when's the next date? Oh, look, it's like 3 months away this time. Okay. But that was the comfort zone, and that was the self-sabotage. And the biggest mistake that I made when he went to jail was, now I'm free, but I didn't even like that day, because he had actually blocked the person that I was connected to a couple years back, because the person that I'm connected to on like the soul level had reached out to me one night. I didn't get to talk to him because my then narcissistic crazy person saw it, I don't even know how, and blocked him. So like all of those years, like I was like, what the hell? Like I couldn't do anything. I wasn't allowed to. He broke the phone that day. It was bad. Like, he was always checking it to make sure that he was still blocked. And if you unblock somebody, you gotta like wait, 48 hours to reblock them. So it's always like I can't unblock and like say anything and then try to block again, because that, like, I just knew, like, if I happened to do it that day, he would ask that day. So it was crazy. But those are all reasons that I should have left before then. But then the day that he went to jail, like, he's not even, gone out of the house, like, for more than 12 hours. I unblocked that person and was like, hi, you know what I mean? Like, everything's fine. Like, let me just go there now And I know a lot of you guys are in that place thinking that, if you're dealing with the third people stuff, that's not a good way to do it. And I know it's really scary to be like having to go out on your own, especially if you've been in a codependent situation. I was in a relationship from the time I was 14 to the time I was just 4 years ago. Always had somebody, whether it was like somebody that I hung out with for 2 months or somebody that I was like with for extended amount of time. There was always somebody. And it's not healthy. It's not good. But having these 4 years just is insane. Like what I've done, like how much money I've saved and how much shit that I've fixed and how much blew up in my life is because I'm not like codependent with somebody. I'm not giving all of my time, all of my energy to some unhealthy relationship. I'm not like, what can I do for you? Let me, like, make you dinner. Let me, do your laundry on top of my laundry, on top of this and on top of that. Let me clean. Let me do this. Let me, like, just do everything that's consumed with another person. So some of you may be like, sick of the person that you're doing that with now, but you need possibly to not think of this as like, my union is going to be like, he's going to come sweep me up off my feet, while I'm still like with this dude, like he's just going to come and take me off into the sunset. That's unrealistic, and it's unhealthy, and it's not going to go well. And when you cheat, like, and start cheating and all of that stuff, like if you're somebody that's like before that process, know that really, it makes things difficult too, because if you really love somebody and you are drawn to them and whatever, like, I get it's really hard to like not want to be like, wow, chicka, wow, wow, but if you do and you continue, like, whatever, if you eventually get out of the thing that you're in now and you're one-on-one with them later, there's going to be doubts. You're going to doubt them. They're going to doubt you. It's always going to be that thing where it's like, well, he cheated on, so-and-so with me, so how do I know he won't cheat on me with her? And that's what happens. So think about those things when you're making your decisions about, like, should I be doing this right now, or should I be focused on my transformation? Should I be focused on stepping out of my comfort zone? And people get really uncomfortable with boundaries when they're codependent, or when they have unhealthy trauma, or, they're, whatever's going on, like the way that they attach to other people is a little messed up, which I totally get, because I've been in all of these crazy, horrible things forever. Like, I've done all of it. So you don't want to like keep doing that to yourself. You don't want to stay in a situation like I know some of you, right? Your person may be married and you're single and you're just waiting for him to leave her. You're just gonna wait for that. Waiting for that isn't going to get you that, because he is in his comfort zone of, I can sleep with you and I can go home to her and I don't have to really do anything, so I'm going to continue to do this. And that doesn't teach him anything good about you, and that's not going to make you feel good. So you got to step out of your comfort zone there and put up boundaries and say, listen, I'm not going to continue to sleep with you while you're living with another person, or while you're engaged into this other relationship, whatever their freaking excuses are. Oh, I'm here for the kid, or oh, I'm here for this, I'm here for that. They're always going to have an excuse to stay longer when you are making it easy. I know it's like, you're going to get scared that if I say no to him, or if I like take myself away from him, what if, what if he gets mad and then he doesn't want to see me? Because I know they do like the ghosty thing too, so like there's that mixture up in there too. So it depends on what you got going on, because some of you may not have any of the third party stuff going on. Maybe you have somebody that's just kind of like I want to be single and play and have fun and do what I want to do when I want to do it, and you could look at them as like they're just a hoe, but they may not be. They may just be somebody that's afraid of commitment, or they may be somebody that's been burned really badly, or they may be somebody that's just gotten used to being in their shell, not being vulnerable, not being open and authentic about their, feelings and things. They may not be comfortable with feelings. So don't throw that on them and just like, just expect that, like, because they're not talking to you, that they're like being a slut, basically. But also, again, don't go to that place of that comfort zone of like, but if they come talk to me for 5 seconds, I'm gonna give them what they want, because if I don't, they might disappear and never come back. They'll be back. And that's the thing, like, even the one that's married or whatever, the one that's like doing whatever he wants whenever he wants, like maybe he goes home and he sees you too. Boundary, step out of your comfort zone. It will put an end to it, and he will be back. He's not like, he may get mad for a little bit, and that's because he has that natural thing inside of him that's gonna know, like, that's not how you've been. You've been letting me do what I want, when I want, and how I want. So I know that if I like give a little bit of like pushback, this most likely I can get what I want again. That I can make you fear losing me. So he may play the silent game, or he may just like, act like he doesn't care. But he does. So don't let that trick you. And if that's the case, that he doesn't care, that like like if he can just like cut you off and be done with you instantly, you don't want that. You shouldn't be like, but I don't want to like, like that's inevitable. If he's like that, it's inevitable that eventually he's gonna do that to you. He's gonna discard you when you're done, because that's a narcissistic thing. If somebody does not care about you, but is like, I'm gonna sleep with you and sleep with this and do this and do that and all these things at the same time, they're gonna defeat you no matter what. You're not gonna like woo them into any being different, because that's not like, that just doesn't happen. So don't waste your time in the comfort zone of, oh, I can't have boundaries because then he might get mad, or then he might disappear. If you really truly believe that he's going to disappear and not come back because you have a boundary, then that's not the person you want to be with. That's not the place you want to go to. That's not the dude for you. So I feel like right now, because we did these are really good cards that came out earlier. So we had the Two of Cups, the Lovers, and the Four of Swords. So it's like, I really do feel like things are healing for people. It could be that like, it depends on where you're at on the journey. Like if you've been, like you've been through this shit already, like you've put your boundaries up, you've already like stepped out of your comfort zone, you've already done the manifesting, you've already set these intentions, you've already, you did the stupid shit, now you're cleaning it all up. Like you could have healed your connection to the point where like you could be coming together to the next level of what that means, like whatever that means, like coming out of your shell basically. And I feel like coming out of your shell towards abundance, towards happiness, towards something. But it's going to be to with your situation with your divine person, okay? Something's healing here. So if you're somebody that's like dealing with a third party, or you're somebody that's got like the frickin', something in the middle between the two of you that's just needing to be spoken about, but you're afraid to speak about it because you don't have boundaries, or you don't have respect for yourself, or you don't have value on yourself, or you don't love yourself enough, or you've got wounds from the past that are blocking you, unresolved. That is like, if you want this, you want to get there, you gotta heal. You gotta go into meditation. You gotta like start contemplating and making the decisions that are difficult to do, and setting very clear intentions for yourself. Like, I'm not gonna keep playing this game. I don't care if it's this. Like, this doesn't trump out you. This is supposed to lift you up. This is supposed to make you feel like better. This is supposed to teach you things and help you to step out of your comfort zone. It's supposed to like inspire you. And you've got to figure out what works for you along the way for your self-care, so that you can heal and get to the good place. And take your time with it. It's not a rush. I don't know why everybody's in such a rush. Look at that. Boundaries. I split the deck and I got boundaries. Givers need to set limits, because takers never do. Say no. So this is definitely specifically like for those of you out there who are maybe addicted to a person, and it doesn't mean that they're not your person or whatever, but there's like an addiction there where, what if I say no and they get mad and I'm like blah 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 blah, so I'm not going to have any healthy boundaries and I'm just going to keep getting hurt. You can't do that. You cannot do this and expect this, okay? I'm going to show you the cards that are here. We had the Lovers, the Two of Cups, and the Four of Swords. That tells me these connections are healing on some level, some degree, wherever you're at. So like, don't get all like if you're down here doing crazy stuff and bad things, then, you know, it's the next level. Like, it's like you are going to start healing. So they eventually get here, okay? But you get the Four of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles, and the dude rushing in to be like sweeping you off your feet, to give you everything you know, makes you feel like, oh wow, like that's love. He's full of emotion. He's full of everything, you know, that's like open and expressive with like however it is that it needs to be expressed. And this is your ultimate fulfillment. This is like, you know, everything you've ever wanted, the person you've ever always wanted, the destination you've ever wanted to go to, all the things that you could ever imagine. Good stuff. Here it is on your silver platter type of lifestyle in your union. And it's like they're gonna, like, somebody, like, so some of you, if you've already done this stuff, like you've already, because like I have like the evolution, like you are no longer that person. So maybe this is where you came from. Maybe you were that person, but you had that free will to make a decision to come from love for yourself, and you stopped listening to the illusions and you started seeing with your intuition. And it says stop lying to yourself, trust your intuition. So some of you, you know, are still lying to yourselves. You know, you're so afraid of doing anything, so you just like, oh, it's okay, because of the addiction to the person, or addiction to people in general, the codependency. But you've got to use your intuition. It says use your intuition and sensitivity to inform yourself. Stop lying to yourself. Trust your intuition. You know this deep down inside, that you've got to do this if you want this. And for some of you, it may even be to X out whoever it is that you are, you know, currently connected to, if, you know, if their intentions are not good for you, if they are the ones causing you trauma, if they are the one that's like just love bombing you and, you know, getting what they want and then gone, hot and cold, like really badly, like narcissistic, abusive type of way of treating somebody is like to make them not okay. That's not okay. So some of you are aware of this, and you got to stop sweeping it onto the floor, because if you're in a, like, maybe you're already in a bad situation, or you're already in a bad situation within, like, how you feel about yourself. Maybe you feel you're not worthy of better, or that, you know, this person likes me enough to, like, sleep with me and you know, give me love bombs occasionally, which, that goes away. Those stop. So if you're getting love bombs still, just know that those stop. When you're actually like with them, like they don't love bomb you anymore, they love bomb everybody else and make you feel crazy for thinking that they're doing that, but they do. So, you know, don't base anything off of like, but they once did this or once did that. Like, look at like the consistency of things, and look at what you're aware of, because I think some of you are aware that like you are just going to end up really defeated by dealing with whatever situation it is that you may have. So, I don't know. I feel like that's for everybody to decide on their own, because there is really good positive energies here, but it's like dependent on you completely doing what you need to do and asking very clearly what they're planning on doing. Like, you probably already know on some level or some degree, like, if you're really dealing with something that can get to here, or if you're dealing with something that maybe, you know, you got to clear that energy away, so that you can get to here with somebody that is going to want to be there to lift you up, somebody that's going to be your Two of Cups. And again, when we go through unhealthy things, like if you maybe grew up with like unhealthy parents, or you saw your parents fight a lot, you saw, you know, narcissism somewhere in your you know, whatever. It doesn't even have to be that. It could just be toxic, whatever toxic trait, addiction, or thing that's happening, codependencies. If you grew up around that and that's all you knew, that's familiar to you. So you don't go to what's healthy for you, you go to what's familiar to you. You go to your comfort zone. So that could be a part of the thing, that you need to clear out these old energies and have boundaries and say, no, I'm now aware of what the cycle is, of what my family did, of what, like, you know, what I may have thought was good, or what, you know, I've been trained to, like, you know, just accept as good, or like almost even beg for it at times, like, you know, please don't leave me, please continue to, like, you know, hurt me, is sometimes what people are doing in these situations. But if you're aware of that, you've got to use like your sensitivity, your empathy for yourself rather than everybody else, and say no to these circumstances. Clear out these old energies. Know that there's a lesson in all of it. Okay, like if you were dealing with a player, you were dealing with a dude that's just kind of like crazy. It says you're not the only one. Ask them. So I think that's really important for you, because you've got the ask them like straight up here, and you have the intention card that said ask them their intention. So I feel like for a lot of you, whoever you are connected to, asking them their intentions will straight up tell you. Like I don't think they're gonna lie to you. I feel like they might be the type that's like, no, I'm not gonna do that, or like I can't do that. Like they might tell you straight up. Well, this one says deceit. This person lied before and will again. So know that they might lie. You know, so you will know better than I do if they lie. Okay, and illusions. Stop lying to yourself. Trust the intuition. Okay, so you might lie to yourself again and stay in this toxic thing that you know staying in is not good because of the breadcrumbs that you got. They say don't settle for bits and pieces. You know, you deserve a lot more than bits and pieces. You deserve the whole thing. You are an inspiration. You will inspire others to heal too. Like when you heal, when you put those boundaries up, when you tap in and tune in and pray and ask for help, and you start doing the affirmations, and you start doing like the gratitude, and you start figuring out like how to heal and rise up, you can help bring awareness to others on how to do the same thing. You know, you could get your little YouTube channel going and start bringing abundance and joy to others. And it says joy comes from within. Stop seeking it outside of yourself. So if you've been kind of like I be a little codependent, want my this to be got to like, because this doesn't have to be with a person. This could be with yourself. Like I feel like pretty freaking, I feel like I got plenty of this, and I mean my foundation is strong and I got plenty of this. The only thing I don't have is some like bow chicka wow wow, but I don't need that. Like I'm like, I don't really like, I'm okay. So just try to do what's going to be right for you. And I just noticed that when I was putting these down, because these two are like right beside each other, when I was doing this stuff, I have the deceit card again with the lies. And it says, pay attention to the signs and their actions. This person has lied before and they will again. So some of you, pay attention to this. Don't get sucked into lies. Don't get sucked into your addiction for somebody. Because somebody might have a secret. Okay, somebody might be like keeping something from you. And look, say no. No is a full sentence. You don't even need to explain why you're saying no. Like if there's something that you don't want to do, you have free will to not do it. You get to make all of your decisions come from love. As long as you're coming from love, you're good. Like you don't have to be guilty about it. You don't have to worry about it, especially if it's love for yourself. And know that you deserve this, like, and everything. Like if you went through something like this, and I'm sorry if you went through all of this and you thought that maybe that this person was going to end up being like the one, like you thought you were going to end up here with all of this wonderful stuff with the person, and you ended up realizing that like, or you're starting to feel like that may not be what's going to happen. I'm sorry, because it's definitely not like, yay, I love that. But just know, like, you would not be here if you weren't going to get this. So you are no longer the person that you were when you started all of this. You're going through the transformation. You're either going to end up, some of you I know are going to end up with the person that you started it with, and some of you are going to end up with somebody new. It depends on you, and it depends on them. And it depends on a level of truth of seeing, using your senses and seeing, and then taking your power back with these affirmations again. Like realize I'm no longer the person I was when I began this. I can say yes and no to things that I know that are not good for me. I don't want to be somebody that just pretends like not to see shit. Like I have awareness. Like I know if they're playing me or they're not. Like a lot of times we like to pretend like people aren't doing things that they're doing when we love them, but sometimes they are. It's like it sucks, but maybe they are. So I feel like you need to bring awareness to yourself first with the affirmations, and like fix up like what you think about yourself, how you feel about yourself. I also think going outside and breathing and connecting with nature would help to just get grounded and back into your body. Meditation is going to be big, to help you with the trauma, to help you with like duality that you've experienced. And they say you've known the worst, prepping for the best. So you may think that like it's all over, everything's really going to get bad or whatever. And it's like Prince freaking Charming is going to walk in out of nowhere, because true love will be yours. Literally, true love will be yours. So I feel like if you can clear and do like the ritual work, like, because like maybe you're not good at I feel like somebody out there's like, I don't do meditation, I can't. You don't have to. You can do a ritual, light a candle, burn some shit, like do whatever you feel like. Write down all the like on paper, all your memories that are not good, and your fears. Maybe you're gonna start, going to avoidance. Maybe you already in there, you're avoiding the truth right now, or your beliefs are keeping you still. Oh, this is my twin flame, 100%, this is my twin flame, I don't believe this, I'm gonna avoid this, like, but deep down in the empath part of you, you may know something else, that like, yeah, like, so try to, heal this part now, and you can do ritual. Write down all the memories of the things that were bad with the person, so that you see these red flags with the new people, so that you don't end up afraid to love again, or having anxiety attacks when you do meet somebody new, because like that's a whole freaking ball game. And then it says tears, this situation will bring you to tears, run. So I feel like some of you, whatever you're really like holding on to and not wanting to like let go of, it's a bad behavior. It's a bad behavior to do that to you. Your extra sensitive soul is both a blessing and a curse, because you love deeply. But that, unfortunately, you gotta love yourself more than them right now, because that's how you're gonna eventually get your true love, is by accepting that this one isn't, necessarily gonna be the one. And that's not for all of you. That's just, there's somebody out there that I'm connecting with right now that's like, they need to hear this, but they don't want to hear this, but they know they need to hear it at the same time, and they're going to be probably upset, but they're probably going to be like also like grateful and like say thank you. So this is an attitude of gratitude will transform your paradigm. Like I was saying, that's how you're going to get your abundance. Stop focusing on the negative, stop focusing on the stuff that's not working in your life, start focusing on self-care, getting out of your comfort zone, knowing that it's time to face your triggers, it's time to face the memories, and like acknowledge, like, you know what, that behavior that he did that day, or this thing that happened that time, or whatever it was, wherever it was in my life, all the bad shit that I've experienced, I had to go through that. I had to go through the bad to get to the good. And it's time for the boundaries. It's time for me to move on, because I'm not staying where I am anymore. I'm getting rid of all this unresolved trauma, clearing out all of these things. And like, this could be your ritual, just like lighting some Palo Santo. You don't have to do a big crazy thing to be mindful and practice this, okay? Writing is huge. Like, I write constantly. All I do is write, and I get a lot of stuff out. I write letters to people. I write like my experiences down that I like have come in sometimes. Just whatever. You could channel like your stuff out of you however you want. It says passion. What are you passionate about? This is your purpose. So if you can get passion behind something, that's going to help you to take your focus off of, maybe the abuse that you just went through, or the, breadcrumbs that they might throw your way, and realize, like, what you need to realize, so that you don't fall back into bad behaviors and let them, come back in and take you back to that comfort zone of its bad behaviors and its bad, stuff. Because I do think that once you, see this opportunity that's here in front of you to have this transformation, that this is available to you right here. Like, it's like as soon as you step out of your comfort zone, as soon as you let go of the bad, here I am to love you. So you gotta learn your lessons, okay? You gotta figure it out, and absorb, heal, and know that, like, there could be somebody out there that's been waiting for this, watching, like, that's your soulmate, that's going to be your twin flame, your divine counterpart. But you've got to first remember who you are at your core, at your soul, that you aren't, you know, this like person that deserves shit. You are somebody that deserves, you deserve somebody that would actually wait for you to get to where you need to go. And I feel like you are going to help other people once you figure this out, because you're going to inspire other people to do the same thing that you're doing, or that you're going to do, when you stop rejecting yourself and you start deciding to feel that ignited passion inside of you again, and listen to spirit, who's like, burr, 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 time to go, it's time to do something new with yourself, and you know, inspire other people, inspire yourself to bring that awareness about this stuff that, you know, maybe isn't so easy to deal with. I definitely don't like doing this. Like, there's so many reasons too, because like, I don't want anybody to like take the message that's not supposed to take the message. I don't want people to assume the message is about stuff like that it's not about. Like there's literally right now one person out there that I feel like is somebody that may be in a situation similar to where I was. I don't want them to make the same mistakes that I made, you know. And those of you who are in something right now, don't be like thinking that you're going from where you are now to like a commitment with someone else tomorrow, because like you need time in between to heal. You need time in between to do what you got to do, to set some intentions, like, you know. And healthy people, they don't do that. They don't just jump into a relationship immediately. So if you aren't interested in somebody that's like a healthy person, they're gonna be like triggered by you, or they're gonna like, you know, they're gonna push you away. They're not gonna wanna, they're not gonna, you know, stay around for unhealthy stuff. But also with these cards, yesterday I was getting somebody that you may be connected to that's on the outside, because I feel like this is just for other people again. There could be somebody that you have that's on the outside that has something to say, but they're not saying it. They're figuring things out right now. They're figuring out like where they're at, kind of, where they want to be, like what to say maybe. Also, I was getting that they could be studying and figuring out you at this point, because we had the Empress, you know, like they could be looking at you, studying and figuring out, like, you know, is this my Empress? Is this my Two of Cups? Is this the one that I'm supposed to be with? You know, is this the one that I should do this to? Like, should I bring my cup of love? And should I lift this person up and go have this happy ever after, or, you know, the start of something new, depending on where you're at and who you're with, because I feel like you are being protected by your guides. You went through a lesson that was meant to make you stronger. Somebody's coming in with intentions. So if it's somebody from your past, just simply ask what their intentions are. And if their intentions aren't good, or they say they don't know, say that you need clear intentions of, like, you know, like, I just need to know you're not planning on hurting, you know, like, are you planning on, like, giving me, like, a shot to see where this goes, or are you just planning on, like, spending a night to see if I'll be your hoe, like, you know. So make that clear with whoever, whatever you do, that you need clear intentions. And I feel like for most of you, like, whoever's coming, if they've been observing, they know that, like, you deserve to be given good stuff, you know. Like, I don't think they're going to treat you badly. They may not be able to, I feel like that's a problem, is they may not be able to verbalize everything, you know, exactly as, like, you might. I don't even think you want, like, I don't even think you might even know what you need to hear, but I feel like they may not know what to say, and you may not even know what you need to hear, and that may be a problem. So you may need to set intentions on what you need to hear, so that they can, like, pick up on that, and you guys can figure that out, because that may be, you know, like, I feel like there's a telepathic thing here, and they're like, I want to come forward, but I don't even know, like, how, or what, why. Like, it's not that they don't know why, or what, like, what the, you know, they want to, because they like you, but they may not know how to, say it. It's like, can I just show up and, like, that's that? Like, we don't talk about it, just there. Like, hey, here I am. What's up? So yeah, that's basically it, guys. Hopefully that assisted somebody. It was definitely longer and way more than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, become that star of the show. Rise up. Transformation. by letting love transform you. So that could be like your lesson to learn, is that you've got to trust your intuition now. Say goodbye to somebody in particular that was keeping you from this, and then really letting love in to elevate you up. You know, taking a leap of faith with somebody who's gonna do that, and this stayed on the table. Be your Four of Wands, your twin flame love living union. So somebody good will come to you. It's been what you've been waiting for. It may not be who you were waiting for, but it may be what you were waiting for all of that time. Okay, everybody, namaste.